So we started life about 12 years ago as a press agency, providing exclusive, eye-catching, picture-led stories to the national and international press. We soon developed a name for ourselves for distributing high-quality, amazing natural world wildlife content. We sourced photographers who'd shot incredible work, and we could help them find a mainstream audience and new revenue streams and bring ourselves content that we could never have created. So we use the internet, we use social media, we use forums to find amazing photographers, both amateurs and professionals. And there's a huge global demand for natural world photography in the mainstream press, especially with the growth of online publishers who have a massive demand for eye-catching content every single day. The reach of online publishing means that many new licensing and revenue opportunities are opened up. And this is still a really important part of our business. And we really value the work that these photographers do. Now, when we first started doing this in 2008, it was something new for the British press, but at the time of the financial crash, it provided an excellent counterpoint to the difficult news, and it brightened up the newspapers and provided beautiful photography and informative stories, which was something quite different. So fast forward 8 years, and we still work in this way. We now also have a production company. But we've also evolved to run the biggest factual channel on YouTube, which receives around 100 million views a month. And we have partnerships with every other digital platform, including MSN, Yahoo, Xbox, Youku, which is China's biggest digital platform, and Gyao, which is Japan's biggest digital platform. So I'm going to share with you some of our learnings and approaches that helped us transform from a linear to a digital business. And I'm also going to explain why we think now is an incredibly exciting time to be bringing natural world content to new global audiences. So I'm just going to start with a couple of facts and figures to put things into context. Since 2013, the global internet population has grown nearly 20%, from 2.4 billion to 3.2 billion people. Every minute this year, YouTubers uploaded 300 hours of video, an increase from 72 hours a year ago. Netflix subscribers stream 80,000 hours of video every single minute. BuzzFeed users watch more than 34,000 videos every minute. Instagram users like 1.7 million photos every single minute this year. And Snapchat users share nearly 300,000 snaps every minute. So, to capture this audience, we've moved into the digital video world, prioritizing it as part of our production and distribution. And I'm going to show you some different content examples and how we've optimized those for a young digital audience to gain wide reach and viewer numbers. So this is the first clip.
This extraordinary footage shows a lion being flipped 5 meters into the air. The juvenile predator was about to complete a kill before a giant male buffalo intervened to save his friend from certain death. The hungry duo spent 45 minutes stalking their prey in the Kruger National Park, South Africa. But after bringing down the defenseless buffalo, one lion left itself open to a surprise attack. The astonishing moment was captured by 52-year-old Ian Matheson and his 16-year-old son, Oliver, during an early morning safari. Amazingly, all of the animals walked away from the encounter with no major injuries.
So this footage is what we would call UGC, user-generated content. It was shot by an amateur who was on safari. It's quite shaky, it's kind of grainy, and it probably wouldn't make the highlights reel of any wildlife cameraman. But it's actually one of the most viewed nature videos on YouTube, with over 50 million views itself. It was published around the world on major news websites, portals and aggregators, all of which helped it become a genuine viral sensation. And this is an example of how the digital world can accelerate the reach. We sourced this on Facebook, something that had been shot organically just by chance, and repackaged it so it was optimized for digital audiences. We took the best bits of what was a really long piece of footage and compressed it very much down to its core. And we could never have shot this ourselves, and many practitioners in the field will never actually have witnessed a moment like that. But thanks to modern technology and the phones in our pockets, this moment was able to be captured and then shared. And we're going to show another video now.
These stunning views of Africa may look like they cost millions to produce. But but they're actually the work of a lone British photographer using a homemade helicopter drone. The device is the brainchild of Will Barrett Lucas, who designed and built it in his own home.
So this is Beetlecopter. It is a 6-propellered remote control helicopter, and I can of course use it to carry a camera. At the moment I have a GoPro camera on here just for shooting video. Because it's very light, it means I get a very long flight time. Just need to go and find some wildlife to photograph.
The remote-controlled aircraft is much quieter than a full-size chopper, enabling it to get within meters of the shy wildlife. Here, a ravenous hyena drags half a buffalo carcass through the long grass before taking a quick sniff.
So that clip's something quite different. It's something that we sourced via a professional third-party filmmaker, photographer. So we often like to try and work with talented filmmakers, and through digital reach we're able to take their content to new and different audiences, help them monetize what they do in new ways and lead to further licensing opportunities, as well as getting them recognition for the endeavors that they put in. This work may not be able to hold a full TV show or a documentary or even perhaps a segment, but there are many different audiences that will get excited by what they produce. So this was shot quite a few years ago now, and it was quite some time before drones were being used as standard in wildlife filmmaking. And this really helped bring to the fore what Will was actually doing, as well as showcase a new technology, a new content that most of our young viewers would have known nothing about.
Lioness with a gored hind leg struggles to keep up with her pride in the Masai Mara Nature Reserve in Kenya. Staff at the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust dispatched vet Dr. Nyaroche of the Kenya Wildlife Service to save the female, who had been attacked by a buffalo bull just 24 hours earlier. The team were in a race against time to save the female and took the decision to operate immediately. Tranquilizing Sienna with a dart, Dr. Nyaroche spent over an hour cleaning the leg with saline and ointment before stitching the wound closed and applying green clay to accelerate the healing. The operation was a success, meaning Sienna could return to her pride and care for her cubs, who would have struggled to survive without her.
So this clip is a third way in which we can work with wildlife content creators. So the digital distribution is a great way to spread brand awareness and messaging, and something that can help charities tremendously. We've been working with the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust for several years, and we've been working with their video content since 2014. So what they do is they arm their vets with cameras to document their work, shooting large amounts of footage in quite a lot of detail. And what we do is we help take their great content and apply our digital understanding and editorialize it in a way that makes sense to a digital audience. So we have to keep the viewer engaged. The first 10 seconds is absolutely vital. So the video is front-loaded with all the information to capture the attention and engage people very quickly. It means that we can get great content out into the wider world, make it accessible and sharing, and receive much greater reach as a result, which for the Sheldrick Foundation puts their content in a whole different dimension to what they could do with it themselves. Last year, they told us that from the revenue that we'd raised via this type of distribution, that had provided the equivalent funding to rescue 3 baby elephants. So that was something we were really proud of. And then this last clip is kind of going full circle.
People love pets. Companions, friends, playmates. And for most, that means animals like cats and dogs. Yet sometimes, that's just not enough. Some people want something a little more unusual in their lives. A pet with a bit more bite. Like the lion whisperer of the Czech Republic. The man who swims with a pet polar bear.
If someone else tried to swim with her, she would probably hurt them.
The grizzly bear with a taste for brew.
Oh, yeah.
Or the cowboy who simply wants a home where the buffalo really are free to roam.
You gonna eat with me?
Meet the preposterous pets and their owners. Often as exotic and eccentric as the animals they raise.
So that kind of goes full circle back into the linear world. So taking everything we learnt from digital about short, punchy, engaging storytelling, we developed a series called Preposterous Pets, which aired on Animal Planet. So we've got a long history of finding interesting people who own and breed amazing animals. But what we wanted to do is create a format that took that back into television. So we came up with something that's fast-paced and engaged audiences quickly with lots of different storylines within an hour. So this was 5 stories per hour, eye-catching, punchy, perhaps almost a compilation of shorts that we might be able to do online in a different format. So as far as we're concerned, the future of content is that platform will be irrelevant. Our biggest learning has been that we have to take the content to the audience, no matter where they are, rather than waiting for the audience to come to us and find the content. So we had to do that because we're not a household brand, but it has opened our eyes to the possibilities and reach of that new platforms allow us, if you can embrace the grammar of the new world. So as far as we're concerned, there are now more opportunities to bring content into the world, and we think that can only be a really good thing. So thank you very much.